Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for attending this webinar. My name is Andrew, and I'll be going through the MyPAYE payroll system for you today. Should take around 20 minutes normally, where I'll give a brief overview on how payroll works and how you would use the software on a regular basis. So, to begin, this is the home screen. So when you log in, this is the page that you'll go to. From this screen, we have immediate access to run the next payroll periods, as well as access to the last ones that have been run. So this means you can either run the next one, or if you need to go back into the previous payroll period, you can do so by using the rerun buttons. If you need to go further back than the last payroll period, there's also a function in the tools menu that allows you to roll back payroll, and you can go back to whichever period you need to. So if you need to go all the way back to month one or week one, that can be done as well. Just bear in mind, if you roll back to a period that far, you will need to recalculate every period afterwards until you've caught up to the current period. And if any changes have been made throughout those periods, you'll need to do things like resubmit the submissions to HMRC and reprint payslips, and any reports that have changed will need to be redone. So I'll begin by going into my monthly payroll just to give an idea of how it runs and how you process a payroll and get to the end of the pay period and move on to the next one. So I'm on month 10, so I'm going to go run month 10. So now that I'm in here, I'll see all my monthly paid employees. Everyone who has a tick next to the name will be included in this payroll run. You can untick people if you don't want to include them in the payroll period this month for any reason, if they're not getting paid, for example. So if I click on employee, it will show you the values brought over as a default. So this person gets the salary and so on. But you can edit those earnings and change any of those values. So if I just edit, I can put a bonus in, and I can specify that it's just this period only, so it doesn't carry that bonus over next pay period as well. So these are the pay types that I'm editing now. So there's a few default ones already in the system, but you can create as many new pay types as you want. If you've got any unique pay types to your own business, they can be created and filled in here to specify how many they're getting and what rate it is. So you work your way down each employee until you're happy with the values that you filled in. On the right, there's the deductions as well. So if you need to add any manual deductions, so this isn't things like tax and NI, that's all done automatically. This if there's any manual deductions that need to be added in, like loan repayments, for example. So you add them in and fill in the value of that as well. And then, yeah, once you've gone down and you've done everyone, you click Run Payroll. It'll ask you to confirm the pay date and if you want to put any messages on the payslip this period, so I'm not going to put any on, so I'm going to continue. It'll calculate everyone and take you to this payroll summary screen. So this is a summary of everything that's happened in this pay period. So it'll list all the employees, and then you've got the earnings, the deductions, the tax, student loans, national insurance, net pay, pension totals. So from this screen, the menu buttons at the top, we've got the payslips button if you wanted to generate the payslips. So there are different ways of doing the payslips. You can either just print them, where it will take you to this screen where you can just send them to your printer. You can email payslips. So if you store the email addresses on the employee records, the payslips will be emailed out to the email addresses on the employee's record. You can put passwords on the payslip as well, so the employees have to put in a password in order to open that payslip. And you can also upload payslips to a portal, so each employee can have a login to the system where when they log in, all they'll have access to is their payslips that have been uploaded to them. So when you do this, they'll get an email to say their payslips ready to view, and then they'll just log in and they'll be able to see the latest payslip you've uploaded. The print button will just print this pay summary. So it's just that pay summary we saw on the screen before. You can send that to your printer or save it as a PDF. You can do the statutory return. So this will give a breakdown of everything in this period that's owed to HMRC and what the final bill is for the pay period. There's a post RTI button, which is how you would do your submission to HMRC, the FPS submission. Pensions button as well. So depending on who the pension provider is, it's slightly different. Most of them, it's an Excel file that gets generated, and you can then use that Excel file and upload it directly to the pension provider. A few pension providers have an API, so that means you can submit it directly to them. So you put the credentials in for your pension provider and the figures get sent directly to them. Or you can just export the file and go manually enter them on the pension website if you don't do any of the exports or API integrations. And there's also an export button if you need to export the reports or anything into an Excel file or PDF. And email as well. So if you can also email those reports directly to your client if you're like a bureau who does the payroll for someone else, or you can email it to a colleague if you need to. And then finally, you just hit finish when you're done with the payroll period. So now on this home screen, this has changed to being run month 11, and then I've got rerun month 10. So at any point, I can just go back into month 10 and make any changes. So I'm going to tick this employee that I unticked before and just rerun it so that they're included. So now they're in there. So now that I've made a change like that, normally you'd have to resubmit like the RTI submission and pensions and so on and redo a payslip, but I'm just going to hit finish to move on. So that's my monthly one done. I've also got weekly, so I can also go run week 41, make any changes to the weekly payroll, employees, run payroll, and move that on. Not going to print anything. So yeah, so now I've moved both payroll periods on to the next one now. So that's just a brief overview on how you run the payroll. There are a few other features that's in the system as well I'll go through now. So the menus at the top, all different things. So the employer menu is where all the settings and defaults are for the company that you're in. Things like the pension schemes, the pay types. You can run the year end from here. All the default reporting options, what payslip layout to use and so on. There's a time and expenses area. So this is where you can create, well, you can set up accounts for your employees to log in, and they can create a timesheet like so and fill in a timesheet, and they can fill in the hours, the start hours, end hours, and so on for each day for the week or the month, and they can send that, and you can come into here and approve the timesheets. And when you approve them, you can also push them to the pay period, and that'll put the hours in the pay period for you. So the quantity of hours will be put in automatically, and it'll just multiply by their hourly rate, and then that'll be included in the calculation when you run the payroll. The expenses are near enough the same. The employees can log in and fill in an expense sheet, and they can push that to be approved. Then you would come in, view that, approve it, and again that will get pushed to the pay period and will show on the pay slip. There's a CIS function as well, so there's two ways you can do the CIS. You can either just enter the CIS on the EPS submission for the pay period, and that'll go to HMRC, just the figure. But you can also create CIS subcontractors similar to how employers are created, and you fill in the values per pay period, and that gets calculated when you run the payroll as well, and then the figure that's calculated will be included in the next EPS submission you do. If you are an accountant or a bureau that does multiple companies, in the top right I've got this list which is access to all the different companies I have access to. So this is for quickly switching between what companies you want to run, but as well as quickly switching, there's also a function called automate, which allows you to set up companies to be automatically run. So this is for companies whose pay periods don't change if everyone gets a salaried amount and the salaried amount doesn't change. You can come in here and tick what runs automatically. So you can tick for it to run the payroll, to send you the reports, to send the pay slips, to submit the FPS, to do the pension contributions and the pension assessment. So if they're ticked, it will run those automatically on the date specified. So it'll run the payroll in the morning. You'll get a copy of the report sent to you so you know what the figures are for that pay period and what it looks like. And if you're happy with those, you can just leave it alone. And later on in the day, it'll then submit it to HMRC by doing the FPS submission automatically. But if you do get the report and you notice a change is made, a change is needed, you can come in and make those changes before it submits to HMRC automatically. So it doesn't do it immediately in the morning. It does the submission towards the end of the day. So you've got all day to go in and correct anything if needs be. So you can have as many companies as you need set up to run automatically. And yeah, you just get the report sent to you and the payslip sent out automatically. You just leave it going if no changes are needed for the pay period. So I'll just come out of that. So if you are a bureau as well, or an accountant, you do have the option of changing the style and layout of the payroll. So at the moment, it's this color scheme and it's got our logo in, but the color scheme can be changed to match your company's color scheme, and the logo, you can have your own company logo and company name at the top. The idea being you can have this as your own kind of payroll, and your clients can log in and run their own payrolls if they want to, and they'll see your branding and your color schemes instead of ours, and you'll have access to each one as well, so you can also go in and assist with anything your clients might need help with, run any payrolls for them and send them copies of the reports and payslips. So you can, in the emailing payslips, one thing I didn't mention is instead of sending it to each employee, you can also just specify one email address for the payslips to be emailed to. So that could be like sending it to the manager of a business, and then that manager can then distribute the payslips accordingly. So that's a brief overview of all the functions and functionality of the payroll. The other menus are kind of self-explanatory. You've got a reports menu to access all the reports for the payroll, a payroll data menu. This is where you can go see what all the rates and thresholds are for the year. The tools menu is some more advanced functions. So we've got rolling back payrolls, importing details. So you can import employees from an Excel spreadsheet. You can import earnings from a spreadsheet as well. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of like a timesheet with hours and all the employee details, you can import those for the pay period, and it'll fill in the hours based on what's in the Excel spreadsheet. Passwords and holiday records, transferring employees from one payroll to another, migrating from one company to another, exporting details and deleting certain things. There's users, so you can have multiple users in each payroll. HMRC communications for doing submissions, retrieving tax notices, and so on. There's payroll benefits and P11D as well. So similar to CIS, you can either do that in a way where you fill in the P11D form and then just submit it, or you can actually do the payroll benefits on the pay slips for the pay period. So you fill in the details for the P11D, what benefit they're getting, like a car, for example, and every week or every month you run the payroll, it will calculate the value, and you'll see that on the pay slip, and then at the end of the year you can submit the P11D as well. So that's about everything from the top of my head. So yeah, there's still a few minutes. We can probably go through any quick questions anyone's got. If they've got anything anything you want me to run through again, or just go over in more detail. In answer to that question someone's just asked, the employees can only see the pay slips that have been actually uploaded to them. So as long as you've uploaded it, yes, they'll be able to see the previous period's one as well. So it's not just the latest one. But if, for example, you start mid-year and you upload one, they'll only be able to see that one. They won't be able to see the prior ones unless you've actually ran that period in the system and you've actually uploaded it. So as long as you've actually ran that pay period in MyPAYE and uploaded it to their portal, they'll have access to it. if anyone's got any other questions for me, feel free to type that up. And it started at 11 o'clock. Yeah, they're not very long. They only last about 20 minutes or so. It's just kind of a brief overview of how the system works and what you can do with it. The cost is dependent on how many companies and how many employees that you actually plan on running. My colleague Austin might have a brief summary of the cost that you can copy into the chat. But if it's something a bit more complicated, we probably need to discuss how many employees you run in a particular month. It all depends on how many employees you actually have being processed in the pay period.
I understand that. Yeah, the prices starts from just a little over, I think, about £1.20 per employee per payroll month. So if you have a weekly employee that's done 4 times, there's only 1 charge per month from them. But as Andrew said, it is depends on if you're one of the partners, and there is discounted rates based on volume. What we'll do is we can send you out some pricing information at the end of the call.
In answer to that one to do with holiday records, no, the employees can't upload or book holidays themselves. It's just timesheets and expense claims that you can upload to be approved. The holidays, you can go into the payroll period yourself and fill in the holiday records for each employee.
Thanks, Andrew. The holidays can be done through the portal. So they can book holidays on there, and they can be requested and deducted off.
Okay, thanks for that. Didn't know that myself. Does anyone else have any other questions? Do you want to confirm? Okay, well, if anyone thinks of anything after the webinar anyway, you can contact us at customerservices@mypaye.co.uk. So you can ask us anything, send it to that email address, we'll get back to you. If you go to our homepage as well, you can also set up a free trial, so you get 30 days free access, so you can go and create a company, create some employees, use it as much as you want in those 30 days. From when you logged into the system, there is a help section at the top with a help index, and there's also a support center. So you can also create calls there and ask any questions in the support center, and that'll create a support ticket for the support team to see. So you can use that even in the trial version if you've got any questions on running the system while you're running a trial. Or again, you can email us at customerservices@mypaye.co.uk. So yeah, there is a free trial that you can do. So if you just go to our homepage, the MyPAYE homepage, you can sign up and you can use it free for 30 days. Okay, I'll probably roll it up now and close it off. If anyone does have any further questions after this, like I said, use that customer services at mypaye.co.uk and we'll get back to you. Thank you everyone for attending. We look forward to hearing from you in the future. So yeah, I'll be ending the webinar session now. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Thanks everyone.